signed Devin Haney because I think he's a great talent. He's 20 years old. He's had 21 fights, you know, so he's a baby really of the sport, but really his ability and his mindset is well beyond his years. You know, for a kid to be living in Vegas and having a lot of money and living on the strip, my advice would be don't do it. But for someone with a mindset of Devin Haney, you know, maybe with a mindset of someone who understands the sport, maybe another great fighter that we represent, like Tevin Farmer, you know, these people understand how to live. You like that, Tevin?
Tevin, step in real quick. We got Tevin. But
you know, like you get a lot of great young fighters like Devin Haney, right? To have the discipline and mindset he has. I mean, I've been watching him down the gym. He lives and breathes the sport of boxing. It's not about going out. It's not about, you know, going to clubs. It's just about boxing. And some people, like, he hasn't been through the rough times yet in the sport. He will. But it's almost like he appreciates their coming and he's going to do everything he can to avoid them. This is a guy who has been through that, and he's a great role model. And actually, like, I want him to sit down with young fighters that we represent and say, Tevin, tell him about the other side. You know, he didn't come into the sport, get to 21-0, sign a multi-million-dollar contract, although he did eventually, but he had to go through the rough side, so he appreciates it much more. He's a perfect guy to sit down with young fighters and say, you have no idea, like, about the other side, so you better keep training hard, you better keep the mindset, because if you lose and you go back to where he went to, you may never come back because you might not be strong enough.
Right.
So he must look at these fighters like Devin and think, wow, you're so lucky, like you was given the opportunity. And by the way, his skills have got him there, and his amateur pedigree. It's not just like someone rocked up one day and went, yeah, you. Like, he works hard, Devin Haney. I've been watching him in the gym. He puts his whole life into boxing. He travels around for top class sparring, and he's an extraordinary talent. So, you know, we're really excited to work with him.
Absolutely.